Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here for the National Financial Literacy Quiz. So we are truly delighted to welcome all of you to the NISM SEBI Eastern Regional Round of the National Financial Literacy Quiz 2025. Here for the National Financial Literacy Quiz. So we are truly delighted to welcome all of you to the NISM SEBI Eastern Regional Round of the National Financial Literacy Quiz 2025, being hosted at the Bhawanipur Education Society College with the gracious support of NSHM Knowledge Campus, Kolkata. It's a pleasure to see bright young minds and supportive faculty members from across Eastern India, Odisha, Jharkhand, Bihar, and West Bengal gathering here today. With representation from over 40 colleges, your presence reflects the growing interest in financial literacy and market awareness. It's truly heartening to witness the level of energy and talent. As you all may be aware, NFLQ 2025 is part of NISM's broader advocacy efforts to strengthen financial literacy among young learners. The initiative is aimed at undergraduate and postgraduate students and is designed to spread awareness about financial markets, investor rights, and role of market intermediaries. It seeks to empower students with the knowledge they need to make informed decisions as they step into the financial world. We are privileged here to be joined today by SEBI and NISM's senior professionals and thought leaders who bring with them decades of rich experience in the capital markets. Their presence today is a source of great encouragement for our students. Let me take a moment to warmly welcome our director, Shri Sashi Krishnan from NISM, Shri Sanjay Sarvade, Chief General Manager and Regional Director of the Eastern Regional Office at SEBI, and Shri Kunj Bansal, General Manager, NISM. Now I invite all of you to please come on stage for lighting of the lamp and formally inaugurate today's event. Thank you. I would request Sashi sir to please be on stage and to please deliver the welcome address to our students. Thank you, sir.
Morning and welcome to the NFLQ, jointly organized by SEBI and NISM. And I know a lot of you have come from fairly large distances, and I'm sure you'll enjoy the event we have put together for you today. I don't have very much to say, but I just wanted to say that a couple of things that all of you guys, young people in India, need to understand. And the first is that the world is changing so fast. Technology is changing so much. So the first piece of advice I'll give you, I mean, right or wrong, I don't know, only time will tell, don't rely on adults. Because what happens is they come from a very, very different sort of era. The way they have looked at how the world is, the way they have looked at technology is very, very different from how people like you will look at technology. And therefore, they will bring a lot of biases into a lot of things that they do, including finance. And I'm sure there will be a lot of questions today which will be about biases in this quiz that you're going through, at least financial biases. And some of those biases come from our learned experiences through the lives we have learned, which will be very different from the lives that you have learned. The second is, and with due apologies to all the faculty who are there from your colleges, I think don't rely too much on teaching either. Because I think this is the way we've organized teaching in not only our country but across the world is to actually have more power over you. And if you really want to innovate, make a difference to the world, relying too much on the way we have traditionally organized teaching is something that all of you should sort of think about. You have to give, rein to free thinking differently, because the world's going to be a very, very different place. Which brings us to a another very big dilemma. Then, if you can't rely on, you can't rely on teachers. And I say this because a lot of my own faculty come back to me and say that the only people that students listen to today are our teachers. And I keep telling them that I don't think students should be listening to teachers, because the lives that they will live will be very different from the lives you live. But then, should you be listening to yourself? I think that also is a very, very, sort of at a very, very interesting point, simply because there is so much, information out there that is influencing our thinking. Today there is a complete information overload, but what this information overload brings with it is an attention deficit. And I think everyone in your generation is seriously stuck with the problem of, information overload and attention deficit. And at least in the financial world, that's a major, major hurdle that all of you will have to overcome. And therefore, I think if you're going to listen to yourself, the first thing that you need to do is understand how to get rid of this attention deficit. And therefore, I think so long as you sit back and think of what is best for you, I think you will do a very good job for every one of yourself. Don't look at what other people are telling you, because believe me, the world is going to change moment to moment, every year, if not every day. And many of the business models that all of us have traditionally looked to sort of build our careers in will change over the next couple of years. Technology, artificial intelligence, and all that will, make a lot of what we do redundant. I mean, if you go back to, say, when the world moved from the agricultural era to the industrial era, it was very easy for a farmer to retrain himself to become a factory worker. When the world moved from the industrial era to the knowledge era, it was fairly simple for people like us to retrain ourselves to become knowledge workers. I did it, for example. I started my career on the shop floor as a rubber technologist, and then I retrained myself to become a finance professional. It was very easy. But the challenges that you guys will face is that in the new era where you will have to retrain yourself from being knowledge workers to people who will have to cope up with, technology and artificial intelligence and the digital world and what have you. Some of the skills that you will require are skills that we can't even imagine today, right? And I think exposures to events like this, where, we're trying to tell you that the world is changing, this is what you need to do, will actually hold you in great stead. So all the best for the event that we're going to have today. And, best of luck to every one of you to win the rounds. I know there can be only 3 winners or 4 winners depending on the number of rounds that we have. But I think when you go back today, all of you will be winners simply for having participated in this quiz. So thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Now I please request Shri Sanjay Sarware sir to please come and give a keynote address.
Thank you, Rashmi. I welcome all of you over here today for this quiz program. And I just taking forward with what Krishnan sir has said. I perfectly agree what he has said. The reason, if you try to understand, see, people, when any person which evolves, his basic nature is defined by the environment in which he is brought up. So the environments which have been brought up earlier were different. Now it is different, and it keeps on changing. It keeps on changing from generation to generation. So one thing also you should understand, that the next generation is always superior in thinking than the previous generations, and it is proven in time also. So in your age also, in your era, now we are mostly technology driven, and in today's world finance is also very important. Now this quiz which have been organized by SEBI and NISM, it is a way, just one step towards making everybody financially literate. So when you are coming here for giving the quiz program, you all are winners, and I hope you all the best. But at the same time, you should try to think the knowledge which you have been received till now, and you will be receiving in future also, try to educate your near and dear ones. This is one of the basic main aims for conducting all those things, because in India lacks financial literacy very much. So you are the persons we will be relying on, apart from our initiatives also. So you try to spread this knowledge to your near dear ones, your friends. You start with the family. Charity begins at home. You take that concept, educate your family, your friends, your relatives. Even if you do that much, if each one of you do, a lot of people will get educated. So with just a small opening remarks, I wish you all the best to all of you, and thank you.
Thank you, sir. So we have with us Professor Dilip Shah also. I request you, sir, to please come up on stage and address the students. Professor Dilip Shah is the Director and Dean of Student Affairs from the Bhawanipur Education Society College.
Well, friends, good morning. Not that I was planning to come, but then yesterday we had a few, talks and all that, and then they said that we are having this kind of program tomorrow as well. So I said, yes, I'll try and make it, and so here I am. Well, I just heard what the previous speaker spoke, and taking cue from there, see, I have been into education for 45 years. And during this period, I have spoken to a number of postgraduate institutes, including IIT Kharagpur and IIM Calcutta and XIMB and XLRI, and so many of them. And my lectures usually was on family business. I usually spoke on family business, and I have an exposure to family business. I did a lot of corporate consulting as well in that space. Now, I'll just give you a small example to carry on what sir was saying. The example is this, that if you take up any small organization or any small business, I mean, I'm talking about Papa Mama store. I'm not talking about a startup. I'm talking about a simple grocery shop round the corner. These are all businesses, and if you sit down and count the net worth of the company, that means all the assets put together minus all the external liabilities, then probably you will arrive at a figure of at least 8-10 crores. Value of the shop, value of the inventory, value of the godown, etc., etc. It will come to around 8-10 crores. Now the question is that these people, if you tell them, and they'll tell you that, sir, our ratios are much better than ITC Limited. Why is it that we do not get the loans that ITC gets? So you talk to them, they'll tell you that, sir, we don't get the loans in the same ratio. I mean, if you see the net worth of ITC and the kind of leverage that they can get against that, of course, ITC is a wrong example because they are a debt-free company at the moment. So otherwise, I mean, just to give you an example, then you will discover that the ratios of this company are far stronger, and yet the percentage of the leverage that they get is much less. Why is it like that? The reason is very simple, that they have no clue of a platform that is called Emerge, or there must be a similar platform on Bombay Stock Exchange. They are not aware of that. Now, what is this platform? Perhaps most of you all might be aware because you've come for a quiz on this kind of a topic, so you probably know, but just to put it into perspective, see, what happens is that this will probably be a private company, and a private company obviously cannot float its shares, and they do not get the valuation that they deserve to get. Now the valuations will be reflected if these small companies are also able to list their shares, and that is possible. And there are platforms on the Bombay Stock Exchange as well as the National Stock Exchange. That is where they can enlist, and then there are market makers. The market makers within a period of 6 to 8 or 9 months will trade in that script, and probably the right valuation will show. So probably a 10 rupee stock might reflect a price of 30 rupees in 6 or 8 or 9 months. And they might have liquidated only 10% or 15%, that's about all. The rest of it is with them. So there is no parting with the ownership and ownership rights or voting rights. Now if you now see that what is the value now? 30 rupees. So what was your valuation earlier? You are thinking it was 8 crore or 10 crores. So the valuation is straight away gone up to 27 crores or something like that. Now if that is a market cap, then obviously everything changes and the banks are interested to give more money. Plus it's a public company. Public company means that much better regulated. And since it would be listed, it is also regulated by SEBI. So many things can happen. So a small advice like that, and there can be n number of advice. If you sit down with somebody like me, I can keep on giving you advice. You could do this, you can do this, and so many things. Now if the moment the valuation of this company comes to 27, 30 crores, that's a valuation, that is not liquid cash. But that's a valuation, then against that, their percentage of leverage will increase. This is exactly what large companies are doing. And this is exactly how they get the funds. But the point is that the young, small businessman doesn't know this. So when we talk about educating people, we talk about educating like that because India, otherwise there are two things. Banks have funds which they want to give out. Foreign funds want to come into India at a cost of 3.5-4%, mind you. Now you will say, but sir, how is that possible? That is true. That is the kind of rate of interest that everywhere in the world it prevails. We are accustomed to a higher rate of interest, but that is not the rate of interest anywhere. And do not look at the problems and the kind of manipulation that happened in Ketan Parekh's, what is the name? Harshad Mehta bhi nahi, this recent Punjab Bank. Choksi and Nirav Modi. Yeah, Nirav Modi's case. Don't look at the scam that happened. We are not talking about the scam, but that case proved that foreign funds can be available at a price of 4% and a lot of money can be available. And there was no scam in that. That part was not a scam. There is a scam in that, but that's a different story. We are not getting into that. So the point proved is a lot of money can come unsecured. And that fund can be available at a cost of 4% only. And we are a capital scarce country. We have opportunities. We have dearth of capital. So if we can find ways of leveraging our financial market valuation, this is what I was just talking about, then in that case funds are available, banks are willing to provide you funds, and there are venture capitalists, there are foreign funds, everything is available. But the point is that we need to know, and a small little information and the application of that information can have such a large impact. So like that, there can be so many things that can be done. And you will find that all small businesses will be able to flourish, but we need to know it ourselves. We need to share that, and not just the macro understanding which I have shared with you, but also the micro detailing of it. So you need to get down to it, and if you can do that, there are a lot of things that we can do, because funds are there for you, for all businesses. Believe me, the moment you understand the various advantages that you can get from the present and within the regulations, and yesterday I said that SEBI is probably one of the best regulators anywhere in the world. With the number of transactions that they handle, they look after, and I am saying this having been a part of the advisory board of National Stock Exchange, I have seen the way things move. So guys, get into this space. Just don't get into the superficial understanding of finance. Get into this space. There is a lot of work to be done. I'll give you one more example. There is 10 lakh crore rupees of NPAs lying with all banks put together. So what is the meaning of an NPA? It means that largely immovable property. Largely it is immovable property. It's lying with the banks as an NPA. Can this immovable property not be transferred to somebody who is solvent? If that can be done, then the banks are funding, and they are very, very happy to fund somebody who is solvent, and with that fund, that person can take over the NPA and the NPA can be wiped out. Instead of that, we are grappling with this situation that how to wipe out NPAs, and then a lot of problems come. We are not aware actually. As students, we do not probe deep enough. And if we can do that, and that's why all restructuring companies are doing well. And there is nothing wrong. It's not manipulation. This is what you are supposed to do. This is what the government wants you to do. We just don't get into those kind of detailings, and we sit back and say that for a small businessman there is no support and things like that. We just complain. It's not about complaining. Let's correct. Let's handhold. Large population of India, even if they are literate, even if they know things, they really don't know the things. You could be fortunate to know it and then probe in deeper and talk, discuss, and come forward with solutions. Let's focus on solution, not the problems. And if we can do that, then we'll have many more listed companies. And the more listed companies you have, the more regulated they will be, the better branding will happen, and the whole world will have more trust. And so far as the business and the transactions are concerned, we have a very intelligent, very diligent watchdog. So we don't have to worry, and therefore the world has trust on us, and that watchdog of course is SEBI. And the education is provided by NISM, as all of you all know. Please get into it. So much of it is available free of cost. When we complain about the high cost of education, this is largely available online. Just for the exams you probably have to pay some money. That's about all, and it is so well respected. So why don't we all spread this message and make ourselves a much better literate society to handhold those who are not. So we have a society in which we talk about illiteracy. There is no illiteracy, in my opinion, where everybody is watching television, everybody is watching everything, and they hear, and the mobile and the television have made everybody literate basically. It's just the depth of the knowledge which will matter, and that is where you all come in, and that is where we all come in to help you out. This is signing off from here. My name is Professor Dilip Shah. Reach out to me. I am at the Bhawanipur College on the 6th floor. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I would request Kun sir to please come up on stage to felicitate our director NISM, Mr. Sashi Krishnan.
That's for you.
So I would like to I would request Sashi sir to please felicitate Sir Vare sir and Dilip sir also. So please come up on stage.
for coming on a Sunday.
I just walked in. I come on a Sunday.
You did go to
I come to, this is my college, so I come here every Sunday. I come on all days.